Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. We are continuing with using empathy as a tool to lead your teams. Using empathy as a tool to lead your teams. Now, as a young man, it's very important that when you use empathy, you listen to understand. You listen to understand. When you are using empathy, you listen to understand. And I must really emphasize this, and we have touched it a little bit in the past, that listening is a skill, and it's very important that every time you listen to understand. Because as I say, builds confidence for people to know that when you listen to them, you're understanding. You're not going to ask them a question of something that they've already told you. You will remember that you need to also connect with some topics in the future as well, that when your team members speak to you, you are able to relate to the past conversation, and they would know that our leader is listening to us with understanding. Listen to understand their thoughts, because there's sometimes when people are expressing their thoughts by saying what they're saying. So therefore, how you listen to them is going to be very important, because you would read what they're thinking, because there's something behind the talk sometimes. There's something much more deeper. There's something much more than what somebody's saying. But it is actually very important that when you listen with more understanding, you're going to understand the thoughts of the people. What are they thinking? And the thought process of somebody describes actually the pain that they're going through or the joy that they're going through. The pathway of their lives is expressive in what they say, but their thoughts will be actually said even though they may not be clear about it. We have had several times when people are not happy, but they are not saying it directly. They will say it in a different way. If you listen to them with understanding, you'll be able to read between the lines that I'm dealing with a very unhappy member here of my team. And you'll be able to pick up that and be able to ask questions that are appropriate, that may actually bring an answer of dissatisfaction from them, so that you can be able to deal with the root of the problem. It is very important, therefore, that when you listen with understanding, you're going to be able to pick up the root of issues. You're going to be able to pick up the origin of issues, because otherwise you're going to respond to things that are not complete. You're going to respond to things that are not actually explained deeply. But when you are dealing with that, when you're dealing with your members with by listening with understanding, you're going to actually know what is their thoughts behind it. You'll also allow them to speak out actually their thoughts. You'll actually ask them about some issues that will relate to the line that their thoughts says or that they speak, and they'll even speak out the in-depth of how they feel about issues. And that's how empathy works, whereby you allow people platform, therefore, and that is through listening to them with understanding. You would know also, when you listen with understanding, the perspectives of people, because our perspectives are not the same. Remember, there are people that see things differently. But therefore, because our perspectives are not the same, we need to respect other people's perspectives. But you can only pick them when you listen with understanding, because the perspectives of people, as they come, they see things that way. Because that's another way that as a leader, you must be open to learn, because the only way we're going to learn from others is ability to listen to other people's perspectives, because our perspectives cannot always be right. And also there are situations that are having different perspectives. It could be 2, 3 perspectives that if you allow them, those perspectives to happen, you would know that this is the perspective of somebody else that I can use actually in this situation. So therefore it brings learning to you as well, another person's perspectives. And also, you'll also be able to look at the emotions of the people. When you are listening with understanding, you would know the emotions of the people. And this is very, very important. And as I said, that you don't only just listen to respond, but you listen to be able to assist, because you're able to read the emotions behind, you are able to read the thoughts and the perspectives of the people. And based on that, you are able to assist the person fully, because they might actually have said something that was not completely what they're saying, but it might be that you are able to know what is the in-depth of what they're talking about. And that will actually help you to analyze and be able to help them with proper empathy there, because you are listening with understanding. Very, very important to do so. The second thing is be curious, not judgmental, because there are times when we are quick to judge people. And as a leader, as a young man, I want to say, please make sure that you're just curious about what people are saying. You're just curious about what your team members are saying, but not be judgmental about it. Listen to learn and connect as well. Because when you are curious, you will actually be ready to learn where you need to learn from someone else. And I've mentioned earlier that there are times when you need to be open to learn from other people. The very same team members who may be reporting under you. You may be their manager, you may be their supervisor, but they might know something that you don't know. So therefore, be curious about what they're saying. Don't be judgmental. Don't judge them and say, because they are subordinates, because they are junior from you, then they cannot say anything. No, that doesn't happen that way. It could be that the very same people that you look down upon, they are able to input something in you that you can learn from them. So therefore, don't be judgmental. Listen to learn and connect, not to determine right or wrong, because there are times when we judge people and we think that our way is the only right way, and therefore you judge people what they say and you think that they are not correct, they are wrong, because you think that right is that which you think, and that cannot be. And I want you to be open-minded, please, as a young man, to remember that as a leader, there are times when you may have been wrong because of either your socialization or the judgments that you made in the past. And here, somebody is having a different perspective. Who is your team member? If you judge them to be wrong at all times, you're not going to learn from them. And you may not be able to change from where you are wrong yourself and develop into becoming a better person. Because remember that as a leader, you need to develop into a better person. So empathy affords you opportunity to learn from other people. Empathy affords you opportunity to be curious and hear from what other people think, hear from the perspectives of other people, but also not to become judgmental, because when you are judgmental, then you become biased. Even things that you were supposed to learn, you feel, nah, I cannot listen to this person about this. I know this is wrong, and from there, because I know it's wrong, then I cannot accept it. And then you find that you lose out on your own learning and development here. And you lose out also on assisting the person where they need assistance, because you've judged them from the beginning. So be careful not to become judgmental. Therefore, just be curious, and that's very important. And that is the reason that we spoke about when you ask questions as well. Let it be out of curiosity and not be under judgmental attitude. Don't be biased at all. Don't be judgmental. Let your stereotypes not overcome you, and make sure that you are there curiously and not judgmentally. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. And I'm sure that you will join us as we deal with part 5, of course, tomorrow, which will be the last part of this topic. Remember to visit our Facebook page, like it, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and Micornus Phokane. Like those Facebook pages. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, which is having a lot of materials that you'll learn out of. Topics that may be very important for you as a young man. Please browse through it and make sure that you learn out of that as well. Your host, Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. Allow me to check out right here and say thank you very much once more, and cheers for now.